This may seem odd, but imagine a world where four forces act seamlessly as one. That's the power of net-centric warfare. One Navy, one Air Force, one Marines, one Army, one force. Northrop Grumman, defining the future.
From the Watergate Building in Washington, this is Hotline TV. Now here are Hotline editors Chuck Todd and John Mercurio.
Hotline TV, and I'm Chuck Todd, and we're playing Stump the CW.
That's right, folks. We are going to take a piece of conventional wisdom, turn it on its head, and bring the real truth straight to the people. Every week we're going to be doing this, Stump the CW, the new favorite game show. So today's bit of flawed CW goes like this, Gene Rayburn.
Please.
Democrats will win the House and not the Senate. John, why could that be absolutely false?
Wow, that's very interesting.
I just ask why.
Sure. No, and I'll tell you why. Well, look, I mean, in the Senate, there are fewer moving pieces, right? I mean, you have fewer races, so there's a fewer focus.
So you say that is false. It is going to be...
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm still learning the rules of this game.
That's okay. That premise is false, and the real premise is
the Democrats will win back the Senate and not the House.
Well, take
fewer
that.
Moving pieces, more races in the House. Nancy Pelosi becomes some sort of national rallying cry for Republicans. I still think that's probably not going to happen, but if it does, she has less of a chance in the House. If they're able to make Barney Frank, John Conyers, Charlie Rangel, Henry Waxman in California into
no doubt. Henry Waxman has a name ID of 3% in Indiana too. But anyway,
it could happen. But it could happen. And you're starting to see races like Virginia, Tennessee, and Arizona become more competitive.
And that's more important of what we're looking at is that the Republican target list of picking up Senate seats is down to 1.5. Right.
Michigan,
basically,
Washington,
they got New Jersey.
With New Jersey.
All right, Minnesota it's double digits even from Mason-Dixon, the best state pollster out there. Washington State. We hear it's back to single digits. It might be so, but McGavick certainly has taken a step back, not a step forward. The Bouchard-Stabenow race still seems to have not been able to take off. Meanwhile,
Arizona,
Virginia is now a 3 or 4 point race. Tennessee supposedly still dead.
Well,
Arizona
is going to Virginia. 3 or 4 point race, and Jim Webb raising $1 million in a week. Yeah. Probably now raising even more.
And so all of a sudden they need 6, and they've put 8 in play. They're no longer sort of a pipe dream 8 anymore. I think a month ago it was a pipe dream 8, right? Now we're seeing, well, maybe, geez, 8. Well, no, they're not going to win all 8, but history does tell us that the Senate falls in the same direction. When there are close Senate races, the last 4 cycles...
The House has never turned without the Senate.
Yeah, first of all, the House never turned on the Senate, but the Senate's gone 3 or 4 times without the House. But all the close Senate races all fall the same direction. It's amazing. 2000, classic example, the most greatest 50-50 election of all time, and yet Democrats netted 4 Senate seats. Every close one, they won every 51-49 race.
Right.
And that's what happens. Every 51-49 race goes to one party.
And if we now go back to the House, if you talk about states where a lot of people thought that Democrats were going to pick up their seats, states like Connecticut.
All of a sudden, they could go over 3 in that state, and that wouldn't shock me.
New York, not necessarily a good target for them.
Really? All they got left is they got Pennsylvania and Indiana, no question. Those they're going to get.
Not even Pennsylvania necessarily anymore.
But they're going to get somehow 5 or 6 out of that. But boy, take away, let's say they don't get any out of Ohio, they don't get any in Connecticut, then it's hard to get to 15.
I've actually convinced myself of our conventional wisdom.
And that's what we're going to do every week here.
We are wisdom before it's conventional.
That's what I love to say.
There's the conventional wisdom thoroughly stumped.
Join us tomorrow for our full show when we bring you more of our wisdom. That's right, before it's conventional.
I'm conventional John Mercurio.
And I'm the unconventional Chuck Todd.
See you tomorrow on Hotline TV.